Have you ever noticed that some people really don't like reasoning? They don't like the process of reasoning, they don't like people who utilize reasoning, and they don't like the conclusions derived from reasoning. And I don't mean that they reject a certain instance of reasoning because they consider it to be flawed. There are people out there who deny the validity of the entire system of reasoning. Now, why would they do that? I've always had trouble understanding the mindset of someone who rejects reasoning almost effortlessly, because reasoning is a fundamental part of my life. But for a lot of people, reason just isn't that important. There is a significant contingent of people who actually think that if they believe something, or they want something to be true, then that makes it true. Or they think that if something feels right, then it is right, and if it feels wrong, then it's wrong. They don't always just state this outright, but I'm sure you've heard people say, well, that's just what I believe. And this is not a reasonable way of thinking, because these people aren't using reason. They've abandoned it. More than that, they may actually view reasoning as a threat. You see, when someone says, it's true because I believe it is, that is a baseless assertion. There is nothing to back it up, and it is not valid. But reasoning provides a solid foundation for actually substantiating claims. It means you have reasons to back up your assertions. It's a chain of logic from start to finish that stands on its own merits. And it is far more valid than groundless assertions, and it does pose a formidable threat to unreasoned beliefs. Without reason, someone can say, I think you're wrong, and therefore you are, and there is no valid basis there. But with reason, you can say, you are wrong, and here is a thorough explanation of why you are wrong. Reasoning, when properly applied, leads to conclusions that are difficult to deny. These conclusions can sometimes be uncomfortable, especially for people who are accustomed to ignoring reason and believing things because they want them to be true. And because valid reasoning is hard to deny while still adhering to reason, these people choose to dismiss the entire idea of reasoning. They either consider it invalid, or they say, well, that's just one way of looking at the world, as if all ways of looking at the world are equally valid. Well, they're not, because reasoning actually works. It is productive, and it is a highly reliable method of finding answers that are verifiably correct. And the denial of reason has never provided anything comparable to that. If you're not believing something for a reason, then you're believing it for no reason. And when reasoning threatens unreasoned beliefs that people are unwilling to let go of, they will, unfortunately, reject the validity of all reasoning.